everyone, this is Jake Curran. Welcome back to Blind Faith. This week I'd like to talk about apologies and kind of how I see an apology to be. I think when we apologize and say we're sorry, this is for one really important. It's kind of like asking for forgiveness. Apologizing is letting someone know that you feel bad. But at the same time, I feel like that we should not overuse it either. Because if you don't actually feel bad, or you're not actually being completely genuine on it, then the other person might feel better, but it's not going to feel better for you because you really didn't get anything off your chest or anything. Apologies are really to help both people, for you to let someone know that you made a mistake, you screwed up, and for that person to acknowledge that they forgive your mistake, that they forgive you for your mistake, and that they forgive you for any harm that was done. And I also think apologies are something, when you say you're sorry, you're saying that you'll try your hardest never to do it again. So if you eat the last cookie, for example, and say you're sorry, or maybe not even that, maybe you have maybe you see your significant other's husband or wife's chocolate supply and you take chocolate out of it, and maybe they're protective of that for some reason. I mean, I think it's good to share. I personally share, and I think God wants us to share that, so it's not the best example, but let's just say that happens, and you say you're sorry, but the next day you go and steal another one and say you're sorry again, and continue this day after day. God says we're supposed to forgive people for it. God says in the Bible that even if someone repeats something 7 times and asks for forgiveness, you should forgive them all 7 times. But I think that when you say sorry, you're saying that you'll try not to do it again. You'll try your hardest not to make that same mistake again. So I think it's important to remember that when we're saying sorry, make sure it's something that we're actually genuine about. Be honest when you say sorry. Don't say sorry if you don't feel sorry for part of it. Explain to that person why you feel that way. Don't act like your feelings are all gone, because I think sharing of feelings, sharing of opinions is important as well. And maybe if you explain why you feel that way, that person will realize why you did what you did. And stuff. I mean, in certain circumstances, certain situations, an apology is needed, because sometimes we make mistakes. But I also think that the reasoning for some of our mistakes, some of our accidents and stuff that we have occur to us throughout a day, can also be kind of fixed by an apology, but also explaining why you felt that way when you did it, why you did what you did at that time. So I think when we apologize, apology should not just be a quick sorry and then move on. I mean, if you bump into someone, quick sorry suffices. And bumping into someone is going to occur over and over. So some things you cannot prevent from happening again and again, because sometimes it's just an accident. You're in a crowded room, get jostled slightly, and you bump into someone, and you say, "Oh, sorry." Walk a little bit farther, maybe you get jostled with the same person again. Just because you had it happen again doesn't mean you shouldn't say sorry over and over, because that person should know that you did not mean to jostle into them. It was a mistake. But at the same time, I don't think in that situation you should say, "Sorry, I got bumped on this side and then I bumped into you, and so I was being jostled as well." And I don't think that's necessary to explain. But if you feel strongly about something, I think it's important to share your feelings, share your situation. Because a lot of times, people are more understanding if you apologize for something you're mean, and then explain a little bit about the mistake, like especially significant others and stuff. If you make a mistake, explain to them, "Sorry, I didn't do the dishes because I lost track of time, and I don't want it to happen again." Or even I didn't do the dishes because I didn't realize there was dishes on the counter. I didn't go through the kitchen. I left through the other door or something like that. Little things like that. Explain where the situation happened. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make what you did okay, possibly, usually. But at least that other person has an opportunity to see what you did wrong. Maybe then the other person, if you didn't do dishes, maybe the other person puts a note on the front door, if that's the door you leave out, please do dishes before leaving, or something like that. And so it's just kind of like that thought process you can explain so people understand why it occurred. So a message for this week: apologize for mistakes, but make sure they're genuine apologies as well. Make sure you're explaining yourself, because I think the issue in today's world is that we do not explain ourselves good enough. We do not try to understand each other. We don't think others will understand us. Therefore, we don't try to even explain why we made a mistake, why it occurred. We just apologize and move on. And sometimes the apology kind of seems kind of weak or whatever. If you're in a hurry, sometimes it might even sound sarcastic, like you go, sorry, quick. And it's just important to remember to slow down and make sure that we are being kind, and we are being polite, and we are being courteous, because mistakes are going to happen. We're human. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to say things we don't mean. We're going to do things we don't want to do, actually. Sometimes the devil gets in our mind and we make mistakes. It's not an excuse, but it's just something that we have to keep in mind, that when it's time to apologize, we have to make sure we're ready to apologize, because everyone will have to apologize at some point in their life, because everyone will make mistakes. So this is Jake for Blind Faith. Thanks for watching. See y'all next week.